Hi everyone, we are going to work on our lesson practice for page 793. Today we're working on simplifying fraction answers. So yesterday we worked on simplifying fractions, reducing fractions, or putting fractions in lowest terms. Those are all three the same thing: simplifying, reducing, or putting into lowest terms. So today we are going to add and subtract fractions and then make sure the answer is simplified or in lowest terms or reduced. Okay, so we'll start with A. And remember then when we add and subtract fractions with the same denominator, all we have to do is add or subtract the numerator and keep the denominator the same. So A is 4/5 plus 4/5. So all we do is add the numerator. 4 plus 4 is 8. Keep the denominator the same. So our answer is 8/5. But 8/5 is an improper fraction. So we have to change it to a mixed number. And in order to do that, we divide. We do 8 divided by 5, which some of you could do in your head, but if not, you can do it like this. We can do it like our long division. Okay, so 5, how many times does 5 go into 8? Well, that would be 1. 1 times 5 is 5, and when we subtract, we get a remainder of 3. So remember, our remainder is going to become the numerator in the fraction. So our answer is 1 3/5, because we always keep the denominator the same and the remainder is the numerator. So the simplified answer to 8/5 is 1 3/5. Okay, let's try B. B is subtraction. Remember, same rules. You just subtract the numerator and keep the denominator the same. So 5/6 minus 1/6 is 5 minus 4 is 5 minus 1 is 4, and we keep the numerator the same. So 5/6 minus 1/6 is 4/6. All right, so now we have to reduce this fraction. All right, so to reduce this fraction, we can't divide 4 into 6. So we have to look for some common factors. So for 4, we can do 1 times 4 and 2 times 2. Okay, and then for 6, we can do 1 times 6 and 2 times 3. Okay, so then we look at our factors and we see what's the common factor. The common factor is 2. So we're going to do 4/6 divided by 2 over 2. Because remember, 2 over 2 equals 1. All right, so 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. So our simplified fraction for 4/6 is 2/3. Okay, let's try C. All right, for C, it's 2 mixed numbers, so I am going to add them vertically. So I'm going to write 3 2/3 plus 1 2/3. Okay, so first I add the fractions. 2/3 plus 2/3 is 4/3. And 3 plus 1 is 4. Okay, so our answer is 4 4/3. But this is not in simplest form because 4/3 is an improper fraction. So we know part of our answer is 4, but we have to figure out for 4/3. Okay, so 4/3, that that would be, how many times does 3 go into 4? It goes 1 time. 1 times 3 is 3. And when we subtract, we have 1 left over. So that becomes our numerator. So 4/3 is the same as 1 and 1/3. So our answer is 4 and 4/3. So we have to add together 4 plus 1 and 1/3, and that will be our simplified fraction. So I'm going to do 4 plus 1 and 1/3. Okay, 0 plus 1/3 is 1/3, and 4 plus 1 is 5. So our simplified answer is 5 and 5/3. Okay, D. We've got 5 and 1/4 plus 6 and 3/4. So I'm going to add those vertically. 5 and 1/4 plus 6 and 3/4. Okay, 1/4 plus 3/4 equals 4/4. And 5 plus 6 equals 11. So our answer is 11 and 4/4. But that is not in lowest terms because 4/4 means 1. So 11 plus 1 is 12. And 12 is in simplest form. So that's our answer to D. Okay, for E. For E, we have 7 and 7/8 minus 1 and 1/8. Okay, so 7/8 minus 1/8 is 6/8, and 7 minus 1 is 6. So our answer is 6 and 6/8. The 6/8 is not in lowest terms. We can see because they're both even. So 2 will go into both of those numbers. So let's write out our factors and see if we have anything else besides 2. So 6, we could do 1 times 6, 2 times 3. And 8, we could do 1 times 8, and 2 times 4. So it looks like our greatest common factor is 2. So we'll do 6/8 divided by 2 over 2. We have to divide both the top and the bottom by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. Okay, so now we've reduced 6/8 to 3/4, but our whole answer is 6 and 3/4. We can't forget that it was a mixed number to start with. Okay, and last one, F. Okay, we'll do F, and F is 5 and 3/5 plus 1 and 3/5. Okay, so we get 3/5 plus 3/5 is 6/5, and 5 plus 1 is 6. Okay, so our answer is 6 and 6/5. But 6/5 is an improper fraction, so we have to simplify it. So 6/5 means 6 divided by 5. Okay, so 5 goes into 6 one time. 1 times 5 is 5. When we subtract, we get a remainder of 1. Remember, this is 1 is going to be our numerator of our fraction. So then our answer is 1 and 1/5 because the denominator always stays the same. So 6/5 is 1 and 1/5. But remember, we have 6 plus 1 and 1/5 will be our final answer. So 0 plus 1/5 is 1/5, and 6 plus 1 is 7. Okay, so our final answer is 7